know who to trust. I come around me, we sizing them up. Call up the gang, they lining it up. Fading it, taping it up with the cut. I had a dream, I was ready for it. Lord told me, hey Dyllyn, you headed for it. Know my future been break up and overpouring. Know my demons, they been trying to overthrow it.
What's up, everybody? I hope your day is going swell. Today I'm bringing to you Constellations by RINI. So most of y'all may not have heard this album. Actually, if you clicked on it, you probably have heard of it. But if you haven't, I'm about to introduce you to a new artist. I've only heard 2 of his songs. This is the first listen review, so like I haven't heard the whole album. But I've been sent a few songs and I liked them, so I was like, alright, I'm going to give the whole album a shot and we're going to see how it goes. And hopefully get this man some attention if he deserves it, which he probably will off of them first 2 songs alone. So I'm very excited to get into this. His name is RINI. I think his actual name is like just a RINI or something like that. Pretty sure he's Filipino. And honestly, I didn't know, like looking at his album cover, not that it's important, but looking at his album cover, I was like, I spent a long time trying to figure out what he was, because to me he looked like Justin Poole in that on the album cover, which is a basketball player. So I was kind of like all over the place, but once I got another picture or watched a music video, I was like, oh, okay, I see what he actually looks like. Gotcha. No worries there. If you can sing, you can sing, and that's all that matters in this world. So we're going to get into this album. It's 12 songs, 40 minutes in total. He's got some notable features. Well, one notable feature at least I can see. It's Wale on the first song. So on the second song, there's a Meta, if I said that correctly. I don't know. Meta, something like that. I don't know who that person is. So yeah, those are the 2 features. But for the most part, it's him, himself, and his, maybe. That was my version of me, myself, and I. But for him, I don't know. I tried it. It didn't work too well. But anyways, let's get into this album. The first song is called Red Lights featuring Wale. Alright, that was track 1, Red Lights by RINI, and that was nice. That was nice and real smooth. I'm not even going to talk about the other songs that I've already heard, but so far that's 1 for 1. I'm saving this one. I was literally adding it to my playlist as it was going on. Because it's just like the vibe of it is really smooth. I mean, the concept of red lights, meaning like, I guess that's like her giving, like, I don't know, like giving him pause and trying to tell him to slow down or whatever. And he's like, I'm not, like he can't, like he's trying to claim this girl, but but she's kind of stopping him from it. And so he's kind of locked in that limbo area. And he said he's losing his patience in that area. So I believe that's all it's talking about in the song, but it sounds good. One thing, like I've never really looked too deeply into how many, like the total word count of R&B songs compared to rap songs, but gosh, it is so different. Like over these last couple of videos I've made, I'm just realizing, like, dang, in rap songs you're scrolling because you have so many lyrics to pay attention to and trying to pick lines. And this, I mean, the verses are the only different, and you have the chorus 2 or 3 times, and that's always the same. So you don't even need to really reread that. But I mean, that's a minor difference. It doesn't really have much to do with RINI himself. It's kind of just R&B in general and how that song structure works versus rap music. But I enjoyed this one. And then I want to see if he continues this pattern, because he named the album's Constellation. I was low-key wondering why, because like through the titles it's not really a common theme here except for the last song, which you'll get to later. But he does mention something that I guess pertains to the concept of astronomy and constellations. I mean, her name's a star. She lights my world like candles in the night. It's like minor, but I'm just wondering if that's something he's going to continue to do throughout the whole album, to kind of follow that theme of constellations, you know? So then we're moving into Wale's verse. who's a very, I don't even know if underrated is the right word. I think he's a very good artist, and he just doesn't necessarily get a lot of like praise, I guess. And maybe it's because he's not as like dynamic, which is kind of needed, I guess, to like rise to the top now. But it doesn't mean like, I mean, he's still a very quality artist, and I love his music. I was actually thinking about doing one of his reviews, but I decided against it because I was gonna stick to R&B for a minute. But yeah, he had a slick little line in here, and there may be more. Y'all gonna have to point them out. But there was this is the first one that caught my eye. Well, like wordplay wise, there's other stuff to touch on in the verse, but wordplay wise, I get lost in the moment. I be gone in public, so close to the game. Gave Wall a bucket. Gave Bill a ooh for my little boo. So right there, it's the. I don't know when this song was actually produced because Wall hasn't been on the Wizards in a minute. But John Wall and Bradley Beal were the backcourt for the Washington Wizards. Beal is still there, Bradley Beal is still there, but John Wall's in the Houston Rockets now, not playing. But whatever. And that's notable because if you know anything about Wale, you know he's from the DC area and big and into go-go music and whatnot. And so Beal and Wall played for the Washington Wizards, like that Washington DC Wizards. So that's the connection there. As for the verse, I kind of thought he was going the other way. I don't know if my interpretation is wrong because once again, this is first listen. You don't really get to dissect and let the words sit on you right here. But it kind of like seemed like it was going the other way while RINI is over here talking about trying to date this woman, be with this woman, and she's the one holding it up. Wale's more so going along the lines of like he doesn't want anything with this woman outside of like casual sex, you know, like nothing, like he doesn't want it to be anything more than what it currently is. Because Wale says his reasonings being, I don't trust woman, it's a thug in me to tell the best woman not to really fuck with me. Just lust for me, just mess with me. So like right there he's saying I don't want anything deeper and I don't trust you, so that's what it's gonna stay. And while I don't necessarily think that's how Wale thinks, I just know that's how he's like that's the role he's taking into this verse. And I'm not gonna really look into Wale made that verse. It sound good, which is all that matters in a lot of R&B music. So cool. He also mentioned, I think Follerin, like he ends saying "gone Follerin." I'm pretty sure, or if I said that right, maybe Follerin, but I think that's either his middle or his actual first name. No, his first name is Olawale or something like that. I'm sorry if I butchered that. English is difficult, even though that's not an English name. And I think Follerin is his middle name. Or his last name. One of the two. It's a name of his. So that's why he said it's like his like piece, his closing of an email, I guess is what I could relate. Email or a letter is what you could relate it to. As back to RINI, I think he did a good job. It's a good intro track. I'm excited to continue through the rest of the song. So let's get ready to move over to song number 2 called Over Some Wine with a feature from Matei. If I said that right, I don't know who it is. Or Meta, something like that. Let's get into it.
If I be honest with you, baby, I just wanna get into it. When I make you mine, did it come all this way just to waste your time? Do as you please, and listen more body, you don't need to speak. Make me believe that if loving you's a crime, cuff me up, I'll do my time for you, girl. I do.
Alrighty, that was Over Some Wine with the feature. I'm not going to keep trying to butcher her name because clearly I don't know it. So I think this was more sensual, like sex song, but not over, like, not overtly raunchy with a lot of R&B music today, that when they try to go into that realm, it's just a lot of actual, like, overt words regarding sex. And this one's more just kind of like, it's talking about it, but not necessarily going all the way into it. It kind of uses some little bit of metaphors and whatnot. So it's still smooth, like it's following that same smoothness of that first song, and I think the next song is the one I've heard, which is also pretty smooth. So I think that's just his vibe, is this kind of slower side of R&B, which I'm enjoying. I find it refreshing because you don't see a lot of it in R&B. It's a lot of honestly, now I feel like R&B is kind of mixing with a lot of rap and trap beats, which isn't bad. I like those too. It's just I kind of like it. I like the variation here in comparison to the other side of R&B, so, a lot of the time. As for the words, I mean, at first I thought it was kind of following the theme of cuffing and whatnot, because it was like, I just want to be right by your side if I'm being honest with you. Then it immediately goes, I just want to get into it, and you're like, oh, this is where we're going with it. Which is cool. Like, you need these songs for R&B as well. Like, I guess he's doing a smoother job of masquerading him wanting to hang out with her as a relationship, or like just like spend time, when he's actually going there for it. It sounds like one purpose, but it sounds good. So and so it kind of, I don't want to say tricks her, because she may be up for the same thing, and they just, like, you know, talking around it rather than being straightforward. But it sounds good here. As for the feature, I thought she did a good. I like her voice. I thought she did a good job here. I think the best line here is, I think it may be the last one, the last little line. Do as you please, make love in my body, don't need to speak, make me believe it, baby, and I gotta take a leap of faith. As for that take a leap of faith part, I think that's kind of important if this album is working like I think it is working, meaning that all the songs work together and tell a overarching story. I think that leap of faith is signifying to her to give it a shot, like give the relationship a shot, and because everything else he's doing is working so far, you know? And then when they come together for that final chorus, I just think they work well together. I wonder if they've worked, like he's known her beforehand, because I think they're both smaller artists, but they do well. They're working well together in this song, so it makes it seem like they had some chemistry beforehand. And no, I'm not meaning sexual chemistry beforehand. I mean, like, just like as a relationship, they've known each other, and it just doesn't sound like this is their first time together, because it's not. To me, it's very natural. They're blending together. So yeah, that's Over Some Wine, song number 2. Song number 3, which is the one I think I've heard before, is called Out of the Blue.
Came out of the blue. Girl, I had no clue until I met you. You came and everything just fell into place. At first, I thought that it was just another mistake. Oh, tell me I didn't know you.
Alrighty, and that was Out of the Blue by RINI. Yes, this is a song I heard before. And see, it's still following that same smooth beat, and it does seem like all of these songs are tying together here, which I love. Honestly, that's why I love listening to smaller artists, because as people tend to get bigger, they kind of lose the concept of making a whole album as for just releasing singles just to satisfy fans, which I understand. And I still listen to big artists. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I like small artists for this reason. And like, to me, now he's in this relationship. So I guess that was on the last song, them not being in a relationship and her giving it that leap of faith, as she said. Now they're here. Although this seems like, I don't know, there's some part of this in here that makes it seem like they were friends previously. They had, like, this isn't their first time meeting. They have a relationship from prior, and now they're rekindling something from way back when. And it came out of the blue, almost. Because because like, and where I'm getting that from is, girl, I've had no clue until I met you. Always had my eyes on you. I mean, like, so it's not. So this obviously isn't his first time seeing her. Still, I wasn't able to see right through. We can pick back up. The chorus is, we can pick it back to where, or bring it back to where it started. Pick it up where we left off. Sorry, English is hard right now. So it's like, so they have left off. So there was something before, and it never came into fruition, and they kind of split apart. And now it's at that time where they're rekindling things, is what it feels like. And I like this song, man. Like, so far, whoever produced it, I think it's been, I'm reading these producer names, and I'm going to butcher these two because I don't really know. It's, producers are Snaggle Oki, or whatever. And then Hee Jae Chung has been the last 3 songs, I believe, and they're doing their thing here. I think they're having a very successful job so far in producing this album. Very good song. I think this was a debut single or something that this is definitely the one I was sent first. I was sent another song as well, but this is the first one I was sent. And he does his thing on here. So, round of applause. So far, I think he's 3 for 3. We're going to move on to Butterflies, which is track number 4. Alrighty, as y'all can probably see, I was on my phone the whole time, and I was explaining why. I was listening to the song, and there's something about the song. But that was Butterflies by RINI. Good song. Well, not even good. That was probably my favorite of the 3 so far. And maybe that's because it's new, but honestly, the first 2 were new to me as well. So, I don't know. The opening beat to me, or like the underlying beat, I should say, reminds me of a song. And then this part where it's like, you make me so alive, that part on the chorus. I'm not singing anything. You'll never hear my singing voice. You won't catch me because I can't do it, and I won't let you roast me here. But that part also comes from an R&B song that I cannot remember. It was driving me crazy. I have a couple friends looking for it right now. Hopefully they get to it before this song or the next song so I can recall it or share it with y'all. But it was bothering me the whole time. I'm trying to figure out where his... Oh, okay, so they just told me. Alright, so the so-so part is from a song called Say Yes by Floetry. Y'all probably won't know that duo. It's they've had some important songs. It's 2 women. I can't remember their names, but I just like, they have a couple songs I really like. And I think that's the influence for that part. If it's not, then that is an amazing coincidence, but I'm not a person that tends to believe in coincidences, so I'm believing that's his influence right there. Which makes sense because they're definitely in the same R&B space of this really slow, sensual music. But yes, I'm sorry. I'm going to shout out who told me that hint right there. Her name is Sierra. I will not share her last name because her privacy deserves to be respected. But shout out to her for naming that song because I would have never came up with that song. I listen to it a lot. Like it's a song I never skip. But my playlist of R&B music is over like 2.5K songs. So like when it comes on, it gets listened to. But when it comes on, it rarely comes on because of how long the playlist is. Oh, but RINI is 4 for 4. 4 for 4. We love to hear it. He's like Wendy's right now. He's on a roll. So anyways, that was track 4. Still working on that theme of relationships, and now he's talking about giving all of himself once he's in this relationship and being willing to trust and reveal the deeper depths of himself to her in this song. And so now we're going to see where that song 5 takes us, because so far it's still been following that same transition. So unless the rest of the song talks about the actual relationship and then it the ending of it towards the end, I have no clue where it's going to go. But yeah, that's all I have for this one. Let's get into song number 5 called Mimosa.
It don't rain in California, not a single cloudy day. She keeps winning me over. We just started getting closer now. I know that she won't let me down. Still I feel like something's missing. You left just sit here on my pillows, and in my dreams you're so much closer. She keeps winning me over. She keeps winning me. We just started getting closer now.
That was Mimosa by RINI, track number 5. And so far, he's 5 for 5. This man ain't missing so far. Honestly, I'm about to just, like, if 6 and 7 are, like, saves to me, then I'm adding the whole thing. I don't really care. I'll have to get rid of the songs I don't need later. But so far, like, 7 in a row would be crazy. If he's 5 now, like, he knows how to work this lane. It's just smooth. I love the way he talks about love and like and his emotions when he's going through it. I thought it was kind of a pretty picture that he painted in both the pre-chorus and in his second verse. He talks about you left your sitting here on my pillow, and in my dreams you're so much closer. I want to hold you. It's kind of self-explanatory there. I don't know if y'all have heard the theory, or maybe it's already proven, that like whenever you go to bed thinking about something or smelling something or hearing something, it kind of affects the dreams you have and like skews them toward in that direction. So her smell being on these pillows is kind of making him always dream about her and want to be with her even more. And that transitions to like why he wants to hold her so often and why he wants to be with her so often. Then there's a thing in verse 2 that I like too. Every day I'm tasting brand new wine that I've never had before. She fills my cup with love and passion. I just kind of love the I love the analogy there. Or it may not be an analogy. I'm not an English person, so we're gonna move on. But I love the words he used there, talking about she fills she fills my cup with love and passion. Like it's just. Like he's never, to me, he's talking about like the new wines. He's like, I've never experienced this type of feelings in a relationship. Not necessarily the wine itself, but like it's a new side of love and passion that he's never seen with anyone else before. And all of this is just continuously making him fall in love and like love drunk with her. And I just think he does a really good job with his words here. As for like some of the R&B, the lyrics have been kind of over the top, but it sounds good. This sounds good, and like the lyrics are not necessarily overt and straight surface level. Like he puts a little bit of thought in there, and it's kind of, I don't want to say poetry because my poetry friends are going to slam it for saying it's not that same, it's not on par, but like it gives you that type of feel here, and I just love the emotion he's pouring into this and into his song so far. So that is track number 5. It's definitely a save for me. We're going to move into track number 6, Bedtime Story. Alrighty, that was Bedtime Story, track number 6. And man, I don't know if y'all saw my hands there or if I'll make it into the video, but he's 6 for 6, y'all. Everything sounds nice. At first, I was thinking it was gonna be. It started off, the beat started off a little more up tempo than he was generally at for the album, but I think it was just had more bass than the typical songs, and then because it definitely slowed back down into his normal pocket, which is fine. It's a debut album. I want you to stay safe and just make good product. I don't need you to experiment in your first album. But jeez, man, it is good. It's another sex song, so it's in the same vein as, was it Over Some Wine? They're just smooth. Like, I'm over here about to say the same thing for the rest of the album because I have genuinely enjoyed all six, and I wasn't expecting to. I really wasn't. Like, I was expecting, like, for me to have an album as a good album, I just need more saves than non-saves. For me to say it's a, like, good borderline. No, for me to say it's a good album. For me to say it's a great album, I just need, like, it's a 3 to 4 thing. Like, 3/4 of it needs to be savable. And so far, we're at 6 out of 12, so it's already a good album. It's already, like, we're at song 6 out of 12, but I've saved 6 out of 6 so far. Like, I like this album a lot so far. As for the words, I don't think this one was kind of over the top. I mean, like this one was kind of just surface level. He hits a line in the beginning, "Do you trust me enough to undress you fully and let me have a look at all of you?" And while that seems surface level, and while it is, I wouldn't be surprised if he meant it in a mental way as well. Like, while this is a sex song, like, he gives me, like, the view I get of him is that he would kind of mean it, like, in a mental, like, personal sense as well. Like, in terms of, like, do you trust me enough to know everything that, like, the good parts about you and the bad parts about you, and still be here for you in that sense, and see it all, and still give me the chance to stay. And while he says it with the words as well, I mean, I just feel like that's not necessarily as common for somebody to care when they're in that moment. But I just think this man knows how to write music, and I think he has a bright future ahead of him. This song was another good one. We're gonna move on to track number 7. It's called Destination U. Alrighty, that was track 7, Destination U. And first off, I'm gonna come out and say it. This is not savable for me, so I think 6 out of 7 now. So it saves me from having to save the whole album. But now I gotta individually pick out songs. I just think the beat's very distracting here. Like, the high notes coinciding with the I'm speed racing and my destination's you. Like, that part, like, in the high note, it kind of makes it hard for you to hear him sing, and it kind of distracts you from it. So I didn't like the beat here. I don't think they match. To me, I think they should have probably went deeper, but I don't necessarily know how the song. I can't play with it myself. But yeah, the beat was a miss for me there. And as for the words, where we at? I kind of liked one line in here. Well, I guess it was kind of just the chorus. Like, I've been so many places, but nothing beats the view. I'm speed racing, and my destination's you. Like, he's just like talking about doing everything he can. Like, he just wants to be with her, doing everything he can to get with her. So, and I want to transition that into. I saw a tweet a couple days ago, and I see it, like, not quite often, but I've seen it before. I've seen it repeated times about women saying, like, where is the, like, music of men begging for their women back, like, in the R&B space, saying there's none of that anymore. And I'm like, here you go. Because that's all he's made so far. Even the sex songs he made were kind of about like respect, like giving her. I don't know. It's not the same vein as what most sex songs are made. It was like it's more about her. What's the word? What's the word? There we go. It's more about cherishing her rather than like just like using her. And so I just think he's doing a great job so far on this album. Even if I didn't like, because this song's not bad, I just didn't like the beat. There's a difference like between me saying it's not savable versus me not liking the song. There's a big difference there. I like a lot of music and a lot of it doesn't make it into the playlist. This one's definitely making it into the playlist. So yeah, that's track number 7. Oh, this one's definitely not making it to the playlist, but I like it. There we go. That's what I meant to say. So we're going to move on to track number 8, and it's called Talk to Me.
Oh, you really like to take your time. I'm waiting for you, and I'm feeling really high. I would take your hands, look into your eyes. I keep on looking for answers, not in words, but can you show me how you feel?
That was Talk to Me, track number 8, and I think this one's savable, or save-worthy. So I'm going to say 7 or 8. We're back on track. And I think my favorite part of this song over everything is the message that it has. I think he takes a very, not unique route, but I think it's different than the mainstream route for wanting to spend time with another person. Normally that's an excuse to go sexual and for the song, which he's done. Like, he's made 2 sexual songs. I'm not saying I hate sexual songs. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm saying I hate when people make R&B out to be that's all it is talking about sex. Because that irritates me, because there's more to love than sex. So here, I love the concept of the chorus is really, like, he wants to spend more time with this girl, and to him, that's as like he even mentions it here. I stay another hour just to hear more of you as his opening lines. Like, there he's talking about, like, that's how much he like adores this woman's presence. He just wants to be there and listen to her speak about whatever it is. Doesn't care what it's about. He just wants to be around her and spend meaningful time with her. And I just think that's beautiful, and I think the way he sings it works really well. He just does a good job with music here. There was another line in here. The chorus is like, the chorus here is, I would take your hands, look into your eyes, tell you why we should take this time and not call it a night. Saying, like, he doesn't want it to end here. He wants to continue to be near her and talk with her. And then he begins to sing why. Well, the why is to talk to me, or like just continue to get to know each other and whatnot. And I just think he did a wonderful job there with that, with the overall message of the song and the structure of the song. What else was there? Honestly, I don't think anything else is there. And I kind of got on my soapbox a little earlier, and I think I'm going to do that a lot more in these R&B songs, because I kind of have to. Like, that's, while the words aren't necessarily, there's not a lot of words, and there's the meaning kind of direct, and there's not a lot of different directions you can go with analysis. I kind of want to portray my own views on love and relationships into it, to give it my own spin on these reviews. So hope you like it. That's what I'm going to do from here on out. I've decided with this song, because it really made me decide, because that's why I liked it so much, was the message here and the route he took with it. Anyways, that was track 8, Talk to Me. We're going to get into track number 9, and it is called Need It. and that was track number 9, Need It. I liked it. I think this one I wouldn't save though. I like this one. As for Destination U, I didn't like. I thought it was solid, and I could see why other people would like it. Like I like this one. I would want to hear it. I just don't think I'd want to save it because I think I'd start to skip this one later on, so it'd kind of be pointless in my playlist. But he opens up with the words right away. Typically, it ain't easy being away from you when you're hurting. Who do you call for comfort, love, and all that? And then his chorus is, I want to be the only one, girl. Oh, I know how it feels because you ain't the only one, girl. Like he's basically saying he wants to be everything for that girl. The one that she goes to for everything first instead of who she's currently doing that with, whether that be a variety of people or another person. Like she's just saying, like and he goes deeper into that in the next verse, saying, I can lead you to places undiscovered. You won't need to hide under cover. I'll be your oxygen underwater. Saying like he just wants to be everything, whether that be the person she discovered, like she takes chances and risks with, explores life with, and then the oxygen underwater. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. He wants to be everything she survives off of, you know? Or like wants to be everything she needs to survive and whatnot, which ain't necessarily healthy. But this is a love song, so I'm not going to get into that realm. I'm just going to take it for the song, and it sounds good here. The beat though reminds me of, it's kind of like a Latin American beat to me, and I can't necessarily say why it is. It just reminds me of something like it's either Latin American or like the islands near America, whether that be like the Bahamas, Jamaica area too. Like it's in that. It's just I know it's south of U.S. is where I hear this from, and I had to separate those, like the Caribbean and Latin America, because I know they're not necessarily the same thing. So yeah, cool song here. I'm gonna say he's 7 for 9, which is still great. Honestly, if he gets one more, I think he gets the great album spot. So all he needs is one more save in the last 3 songs. I think he can do it. He's done it so far. So yeah, we're gonna go into track 10 called Craving. That was Craving, song number 10. I like the ending there, the little acapella moment he did, or it may not even be acapella because there was no beat, but him just going, cut the beat and just singing, did well. Got to really focus in on his voice there, and he's got a nice voice, really nice voice. I mean, I've known that throughout the whole song, but it kind of just nice to give that emphasis on it at the end. So I don't know if I'd necessarily, like, this is a sex song, but it's not only sex, I guess. I kind of like, it's a good reminder on something you need to do, like, on something that's important in a relationship, and it's reassurance. Opens up with it saying, I'm going through our memories, this distance don't resemble my emotions. My love is nothing new. I've told you so many times, you have my proof, but still I don't mind. So what he's talking about there is he told this woman so many times that he loves her, and that he feels he's shown it so many times that he shouldn't have to continue to say it to you because you should know it, because I've never shown you anything but that. But he's saying here, I don't mind doing the reassurance. I just want you to know, like, I've never stopped showing it. So like don't ever take it, like, don't ever think an absence of it means my feelings changed, because I've said it so many times. It should build like a emotional reservoir for you to pull from, that to show you that I am who I say I am, like he is who he says he is, and he means what he says. So yeah, then the chorus he kind of goes into the sex pot, and like it, and even then it's not over the top, but it's like I want to let you know just how I feel. Can't wait till I get you home so you can see how much I've been craving you and me. I can give you the loving that you need. That's chorus for the whole song. And it's just saying like it's obviously they're at a distance apart from each other. It's long distance right now, and he can't necessarily do everything he would normally do to show her that he loves her, but he's patiently, or maybe impatiently, awaiting the time for this distance to close, and he can actually go back to loving her how he wants to, and how she wants to be loved, and all that. So yeah, I like how this one sounds. Back in that slower vibe from the first 6 songs, and I think he did a great job here. I love the messages in his music, and yeah. So we're gonna go into track 11, and we have 2 songs left. This next song, and then song number 12, and then we're gonna be through, and I'm gonna cover what I think about him as an artist, because he's a newer artist. So yeah, let's get into it. Track number 11, 4 Days.
Hungry for you. Wanna give myself to you, but can you promise me you'll stay? Don't wanna be here on my own. You know it's driving me insane. You like what you see. Yeah, I'm saying it.
That was 4 Days for RINI. That's another save. So what is that? 9 for 11 now. This album is great. I can say it now because we passed the last song. I did not notice it. Oh my god, I love this song. And I love it. What else I need to talk about is I love its pairing, or its placement right after Craving. So Craving, he's talking about the reassurance that he needs to give her, and that he doesn't mind doing it. Then he makes a song giving her that reassurance about how much he loves her, and how much the distance is affecting him, which gives her that reassurance that she needs. I love this. Like, this may be one of my favorite songs of the album. There was a little part, it's like that I want to give, the chorus. I can't remember where it comes from, but that also gives me like a homage vibe to a different R&B song that I cannot name right now. I have the same person, Sierra, looking it up for me right now. If she figures it out, I'll let you know, but there's no promises because she's a busy woman herself. But yeah, oh my god, I love this. I love the placement. I love the concept of this song, saying like he's waited for days, his soul is hungry for her, and all of that jazz. I just love the realm he is in terms of what, like, he knows she needs that reassurance, and so he's going to make a song. Like, it gives him the confidence to make a song about how he really feels about this distance, and how bothered, like how much it's affecting him too. That's the way I wanted to say. But yeah, the lines here. Where was it? There was one smooth line in here. Oh, want to give myself to you, but it's a chorus. Man, the chorus was just a good chorus. Want to give myself to you, but can you promise me you'll stay? Don't want to be here on my own. You know it's driving me insane. Like, I just want to be where he's at by himself. He wants to be able to get open up to her completely. He just wants her to stay and accept everything, which he was willing to do in the earlier song. So now it's more about, it's less of trying to make. It's less about trying to make her comfortable in the relationship, which he still is doing, but now he's kind of opening himself up and saying everything that he needs from her here, which is definitely how relationships should work. And Sierra came in clutch once again, y'all. The want to give myself to you part is Closer by Neo. That's what it was reminding me to. You can see his influences in his music, and I love that. You can tell he is someone that listened to R&B growing up, studied R&B when he made and adapted that to his music himself. So I just think he's a good artist, man. One album in, that's kind of all I needed. Like, it's what I needed with Black to say he was a good artist when nobody else would. I'm gonna say that with him right now, even though I wasn't the first person to say it. I didn't discover him in my group. Somebody else did. Alrighty, so now we're gonna move into track 12, the final song of this great album, this great journey we've been on. A Starry Night in Apollo Bay.
Finally found a place where we both belong. We'll fade away out of the blue. We can stay. It's up to you. I think I might stay for a while.
Alrighty, that was A Starry Night in Apollo Bay, the grand finale. I think it's sweet. Didn't really, it's just, they're finally in a place where they're comfortable with their relationship. He finally closed that distance. Apollo Bay, I'm pretty sure, is like southeastern, relative from America. Is southeastern Australia, maybe? I know it's in Australia, but yeah, I guess that's where he was in America making this music, and now he's back to Australia and he wants to stay with her. I guess that's where that girl is in Australia, and now he's like, I think I may stay a while, may stay with her, where they both can be together and just be happy. So yeah, I think it's a good album. I mean, I think it's a good song. Sweet ending, just nothing too much, just a nice little fade out into the distance ending. So as for, I wouldn't save this one though, but it's sweet. I think it's a good song and it's neat. It's a good closing. So as for my thoughts on the whole album, I love the way he used all the songs for and adhered to the album concept of a new relationship and doing everything he can to be with this woman. And that's he stuck to it, didn't move from it, and you couldn't make him move from it. And I thought it was a great way for his to get his name out there for his first album. I am looking forward to anything else RINI drops. I was doing a lot of what I was doing on my phone was sharing it with other people so they can get a listen. It was also me looking up if he released anything else so I could listen to it in my off time. It's just, I thought this was a great project to gain fans because he made a fan out of me with this album. He did wonders here, and I'm excited to hear his second album. Now I know I'm late to the review. My brother had been listening to it for a minute because it dropped October 8th, so it's been over a month. But I know a lot of people don't know about this artist. I'm looking at these view counts on some of these videos, his YouTube videos, and they're not high, so a lot of people don't know about him. So here I am telling you to go listen to this man. I love his ideas, his ideas of love, and it's different where he's actually paying attention to her needs and actually trying to fulfill them actively in this song, which is different than a lot of R&B. It's a lot of R&B songs tend to be either the sex songs or just trying to get the girl, not even necessarily worried about trying to keep them. And he talks about here a little bit. It's not overt in his messaging of trying to keep it, but that's throughout the songs of Craving, For Days, and Talk to Me. It's kind of that that's the maintenance needed in a relationship to keep it going. And I love that he put that in his song about the process of him trying to date this woman and to where they are now of settling and just trying to be with each other every day type. So I think he did a great job here. It's a great album. I don't have much to say outside of repeating myself as for the review. So I'll get into my top three. Top three is definitely For Days. What other one made a great one for me? Out of the Blue was good. And then I think I may have to put Talk to Me. For Days is definitely number one though. So yeah, those are my three there. I love the album. Congrats to you, RINI. I'm gonna even go follow you on social media sites. I want to stay up to date with what you release. That's how much of an impression you made with me and made on me with this album. So yes, that is the review. Hope you all enjoyed. I had a blast reviewing this. I'm glad this is like probably the best album I've reviewed so far, and I'm happy to have done this one.